This is Greg Troutline with Maritime Reporter TV, and we're very pleased to be joined today by Eric Braitmayer, IMTRA, to discuss his company's recent employee stock ownership plan buyout. Eric, to start, welcome to Maritime Reporter TV, and can you give a by the numbers look at IMTRA today using the metrics of your choice?
Yeah. We're thanks very much for having us. We're really excited to talk about IMTRA and what we're doing. And I think the big picture way that we look at the kind of IMTRA by the numbers is we have a couple of key metrics. I mean, obviously our top line number is something that we pay close attention to, but really since May of 2020, we have been on a torrid stretch where we've seen our top line numbers grow by about 35%. We've added about 10 people to our organization. We've still got a couple of open positions. One of the ways that we've changed, and this started before the pandemic, is that we serve both the recreational and the commercial marine markets. And so adding additional sales staff specifically to serve the commercial market is something that we've been doing.
Can you give us a short background on your career and specifically with insight on your tenure at IMTRA?
Sure. Well, those two things kind of go hand in hand. I joined IMTRA in 1988, about 4 months after college. I left college expecting to be a school teacher, but I thought I should have a real, quote unquote, real job for a year. So I joined IMTRA, and after 6 months, I was like, this is okay. I guess I'll stick around another year. And I've been here 33 years. So it's been a great experience for me. I started on our customer service desk. I was the first dedicated product manager that we had. So I really kind of launched that program. I then shifted into the marketing department, where I led our marketing department for 10 or 15 years, ultimately became COO, and then was appointed CEO in 2014 when my predecessor, Nat Bishop, retired.
You know, Eric, as I mentioned in the introduction, obviously IMTRA just went through an employee stock ownership plan buyout. Obviously, there are many avenues to take when a company is quote unquote being sold. Can you discuss what you saw as the pros and cons to all options available and why eventually the ESOP option was deemed the best?
Sure. So, we had a horizon of a need for an ownership transition. So basically, there were two primary families that owned the business. My dad had invested in the business after I'd been there for a while, and the founding family. And it wasn't quite 50-50, but call it a partnership. There were a few outside shareholders. And through the succession plan in 2014 that led to me being the CEO. And, we have Chip Farnham, who's our vice president of recreational sales, who's the third generation of the founding family, has been a key part of our management team through this whole transition. And really, Chip's been here even longer than I am, probably 35, 36 years. And we've worked really, really well together. And I think, but there was a clear sense that at the point that he was going to retire, there was going to be a desire from the family to divest from the company. And so we were really trying to figure out, like, okay, how are we going to do that? At one point, if you went back in time, I had a desire to take the full ownership of the business. As time went by and I got a little bit older and the company grew, the value got higher, and my window to the future started to just feel short. Like, okay, if I'm going to invest more in the business and then in 10 or 12 years, I'm going to have to fully divest from it. Like, what's the plan going to be for that? Like, we need to figure out a better future plan. And so I'm part of a peer group of 10 CEOs, not marine companies. I'm the only marine company in the group, but we get together once a month. And I've been that's the perfect venue to go, what are we going to do? We have this ownership challenge. And we felt really strongly that bringing in outside ownership was going to impact our culture. So not necessarily in a bad way, just in a different way. So if we took in a new investor, they're going to want to have say in the way we do things. That brings challenges. If we were to sell out to one of our supplier partners or a customer or someone else in the industry, they're going to want to change things. And we felt really strongly that we had a special formula here, and we had 70 something people that had invested their careers in this, and we didn't want things to get derailed quickly. One of the guys in the peer group ran an ESOP, and he said, "Have you ever considered an ESOP?" I said, "No, what's an ESOP?" And he said, well, we should have lunch. Like, I'm not gonna be able to do this in 10 minutes. So like, we should grab lunch. So I ended up sitting down with him more than a few times to kind of understand how it all works. And it really checked a ton of boxes for us. I mean, I think there's a misinterpretation that if you sell to your employees, that somehow you're going to receive less than you would from another buyer. And I don't believe that's actually the case. Now, if there's a strategic buyer that wants to acquire your business because they either want to roll it up, they have some sort of bigger plan, there probably are scenarios where you would get greater money. But if you're considering private equity or an outside financial investment, an ESOP can really generate about the same proceeds as one of those financial buys, but you get to keep your management team intact and you get to basically, involve all your employees. Personally, I believe that employee ownership is also a great opportunity for us in the States to address wealth inequality. And while that sounds really, philanthropic, which I believe in building that out, I don't feel that came at some sort of discount that the families had to give. We feel super happy with the price that we got and the way that the transaction will play out. And I'm really excited about what it's going to do for our employees as we go forward. Most importantly, because we have a core of really great kind of mid-career people. And I remember when I was late 30s, early 40s, that like, is this where I'm going to be? Or do I need to move somewhere else to ultimately get the kind of advancement and responsibility that I was looking for? In many cases, people don't have the assets to be able to invest in the business already. And so with this setup, the employees, all of them, they're going to earn their ownership stake. And all we have to focus on now is leadership development. I don't have to worry about developing leaders that if we sell the business, the new owners is going to go, those aren't the leaders that I want, or that they're going to, not feel like they're part of what's going on. Now we get to just really sit there, focus our energies. We've got the plan in place. We now have to perform as an organization to be able to keep up with our loan responsibilities, but also to focus our attentions not on what are we going to do from an ownership structure. We've now solved that. Now we just have to develop great leaders that are going to be able to run the business, maintain the culture, continue to be focused on our customers, finding new products, finding new solutions for the customers that we work with, continue to do what we've done for 70 years, and the ownership part will take care of itself.
You had alluded to some of the competitive forces driving IMTRA today, but when you look at what is driving your business today, and when you scan the market, where do you see opportunity?
So again, we're a big believer. Customer service is like the most important thing. I think servicing our customers, whether that be providing engineering support and helping them select equipment that's going to work best for them, having products in stock, shipping them on time, being able to support them with warranty when necessary. Those are all kind of key tenets to our business. We're continuing to look to expand our commercial portfolio. In the last couple of years, we've added a couple of great relationships. We're working with Libra Doors, which is another Norwegian product, watertight and waterproof doors for all sorts of application in commercial. And that's really growing into be a great opportunity for us and seems to be resonating with our customers really well. We've recently partnered with KPM, which is an English manufacturer that does air handling systems and bilge pumps. And that's a real new product for us that we're looking to roll out there. And then we have the products that in the commercial market we're really well known for, the Schleitner thrusters and the Norsep chairs and Exalta wipers, Deca wipers, Roca wipers. We have a lot of wiper stuff. And then we have our whole range of lighting products that are a combination of things that we make under our own brand name and things we source. So we can do engine room lighting, deck lighting, spotlights, interior lighting, all sorts of stuff. And we're always looking for more. One of the roles that IMTRA plays that's really important with our suppliers is how do we communicate where we see opportunity in the market and where we can give that to our supplier partners and say, hey, here's an opportunity for you. So with some of our companies, we're looking at all sorts of ancillary businesses that feel close to the stuff we're already supplying that we're looking to build out. And while we may be a new competitor in the marketplace in those categories, we feel we have an opportunity to bring our level of service with good quality products and keep expanding our opportunities in that market.
Any
Sure.
business requires investment. Can you discuss how IMTRA is investing today to solidify its future under the new ownership structure?
Sure. So, I mean, right now because we're on this growth path, we are investing in additional space here in our local area to try and just handle the flow of more products in an efficient way. I mean, right now we do a great job, but we're very jammed in our warehouse. And I think there's a lot of time with moving stuff multiple times. So we're trying to expand our footprint here. We're continuing to invest in our people, which is our number one resource, really, and working closely with our supplier partners to understand their supply chain challenges and how we can work with them so that we can keep product flowing for our customers, but also, understand their challenges. And we're not their only partner globally. And so how do we, we're just trying to talk more about what we expect our needs to be further in the future so that they can plan that into their overall production schedules. One of the things that's connected to your question and the ESOP question is that we very strategically chose to do a lot of our financing for the ESOP through the existing ownership. One of the things we didn't want to do is to consume our borrowing power so that we didn't have we didn't have the resources available if an opportunity came up to grow. So if a new product line comes on and we need to invest in inventory, we're more than able to do that. If the right acquisition opportunity came up, we'd be eager to consider those things as something that we could leverage for the future. And when we structured the deal on the ESOP, we wanted to make sure that how we did it didn't hamper us from those kind of normal business growth trajectory things that we would have been doing whether we did the ESOP or not. So that's another key element, is we wanted to keep enough powder dry so that if the right opportunity came around, that we were still going to be able to jump in and take that opportunity where we could bring something new to our customers or add new capabilities to our team. So that was a really important part in the way we structured the deal, was to make sure it wasn't going to limit our ability to take advantage of the opportunities when we see them in the marketplace.
Okay, well, Eric, it sounds like there's some exciting times ahead for IMTRA. And again, I thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate the opportunity.